Just as the man in a crowded street cannot see the city on account of the buildings, so may we who work close to the soil miss the mighty significance of the changes taking place in the farming of today. To us, every such change is a challenge. We have to make changes too. Changes in our thinking, our planning, our selling, our servicing. But to case dealers, these changes and challenges are also new opportunities. New methods become practical only as there are machines to apply them. And case dealers are in the forefront with just such machines. Let's look now at what the science of genetics and the skill of the plant breeder are doing. Only a generation ago, a corn yield of 100 bushels per acre was a target to shoot at. Hybrid seed changed that. Today, 100 bushels is fairly common in the Corn Belt, and good farmers with good land are pushing steadily closer to yields of 200. Many of us can remember when 40 bushels per acre was a mighty good crop of barley. Now there are new varieties which yield twice that much under favorable conditions. Oats, too, show similar gains. High-yielding crops are hungry crops. Hand in hand with new varieties have come new ways to feed them. Synthetic nitrogen, concentrated forms of phosphorus, new knowledge about fertilizer placement, research into needs for manganese, cobalt, and other so-called trace elements. But we must make one thing emphatically clear. Plant breeding and plant feeding alone are not enough. A scrub cow may give her meager quota of milk despite heat and flies in summer, blizzard cold in winter. But a high-producing cow reaches her full capacity only when her ration, her routine, and her comfort are close to perfect. Likewise, must the best-bred, best-fed crops have the highest type of cultural methods. Not only must seed beds be better, planting more accurate, and weed control more complete, but every operation must be more timely. How often we see two farms side by side. The soils are alike, and the two farmers may use the same seed. Yet one averages 100 bushels of corn per acre, while his neighbor seldom gets more than 45 or 50 bushels. Accuracy and timing make the big difference. Timing of tillage to conserve moisture, release nitrates and arrest weeds. Accurate drop and depth to assure full stand. Clean, shallow cultivation to get the weeds and spare the roots. And so we see that the rich rewards from changes in crop variety and crop fertilizing become a reality by means of better implements, advanced machines, and more capacity and convenience in tractor power. Growing greater crops is but the beginning of the breathtaking changes that crowd in upon us. Succession of grasses and rotational grazing are challenged by the practice of green feeding. Haymaking is supplanted in part by making meadow crops into silage, both as a way to outwit wet weather and for the sake of sheer succulence. And now comes the modern miracle of making corn a twofold crop. The method of cattle feeding that promises to double the pounds of beef produced per acre of corn. In the microbiology and chemistry of the cow's four stomachs, the indigestible cellulose of corn stalks becomes digestible, mixes with manufactured nitrogen in the form of urea, and becomes the fat-streaked substance of steaks and roasts. What makes this possible is cornstalk silage, and what makes it practical is a new machine of case creation, the corn harvester. already adopted and endorsed by farmers who feed cattle by the thousand. It has them talking of feed costs cut down to half the customary figures. Other changes are at hand in dealing with crop residues. Cotton stalks, corn stubble, potato vines, prunings from orchard and vineyard, all are slashed to fragments for blending into soil and building up its humus content. Meanwhile, the field shredder makes sure that stubborn trash will not impede the tasks of tillage. Changes come thick and fast in the chemistry of farming. Fungicides, insecticides, herbicides, defoliants, sometimes seeds and fertilizers, shower down from hedge-hopping plains. Hormones help the horticulturist by regulating the habits of fruit trees and flowering plants, as well as discouraging the unwanted plants we call weeds. Farm structures, too, are changing. The towering silo is going the way of the windmill, while horizontal silos are being built by the hundred. Dairy cows are escaping from chains and stanchions to live at leisure in yards and loafing barns, marching morn and night to milking parlors for assembly line milking. Cribs and granaries and haylofts, too, are undergoing change. Artificial drying plays its part, but mainly these buildings are being reborn to set the farmer free from scoop shovel and pitchfork, bushel basket and wheelbarrow. In their place come crop elevators and forage blowers, tractor loaders and wagon unloaders. Then there are the changes imposed by government, rotations disrupted, acres allotted, quotas curtailed, grains giving way to grasses, lest forbidden fields grow up to weeds or lie fallow as invitation to erosion. More seeds to sow, seeds to harvest, hay to make, and silage to put up, and all with the limited labor available. Right here we come to the major fact in the farming of today and tomorrow. Farm products may swing from scarcity to surplus, and their prices may rise or fall. Markets may fluctuate, but the cost of farm labor continues high, and good farm help is hard to find at any price. This is the permanent problem of the farmer, the challenge and the opportunity for the farm machinery dealer. For all of these mighty changes, all these shifts in methods and machines, Case dealers are ready with a royal welcome. For years on end, Case has been working shoulder to shoulder with the scientists, the experiment stations, and with men in farm management. Case research and engineering have been geared to the vision of changes on the way. And now, for the farmers of this modern world and for the dealers who serve them, Case has a whole list of new models and new machines. Let's look at a few of them. Here is the new Case diesel tractor. It gives the farmer the fuel economy of diesel operation, plus the labor economy of big capacity and time-saving convenience, plus the upkeep economy that comes from Case construction. And for a clincher, it offers power steering. For the challenge of heavy stands of hybrid stalks and rank cover crops, Case dealers have the new S-Series wheel-type disc harrows that do in once over what would take twice over with ordinary disc harrows. For contour farming, for the finest, fastest work on winding curves, Case dealers have the new pivot action principle, not only in several sizes of mounted moldboard plows, but in pivot action disc plows, pivot action disc harrows, and other implements. For clipping pastures, mowing weeds and undergrowth, working down stalks and stubble, to do just about every cutting job on many types of farms, Case dealers have the new field cutter. For farms where demands are different, the service more severe, they have the Case Field Shredder that conquers brush as well as the residues of cotton, corn, potatoes, and other crops. For haymaking, Case dealers have a whole list of advanced machines. There's the side-mounted mower for the low-seat tractor, which may be followed in the same operation by the new Eagle Hitch side-motion semi-mounted rake, all under complete hydraulic control. In automatic twine-tie balers, Case dealers have both the well-known number 140 and the new, lighter, lower-priced junior baler number 130 that fits the needs of smaller farms and creates for Case dealers a bigger baler market. For bulk-handled hay, either field-cured or barn-finished, there's the long-cut forage harvester. With its quick change feature, one man in a few minutes switches to the row crop unit that cuts and chops corn, sorghum, and so forth for silage, or to the cutter bar for standing hay silage or crops for daily green feeding. Speaking of green feeding, here's another new machine, a marvel of simplicity and low cost. The Case Utility Harvester mounts on tractors with Eagle Hitch or other three-point hookup, drives by power takeoff. It blows as it mows, cuts 54 inches wide, and loads the long-cut grass or legume into wagon or trailer. It makes ideal forage for green feeding. It's adaptable for grass silage, too. In fact, it provides a complete harvesting outfit for many a grassland farm. Turning to small grains and seeds, Case dealers have the new 120 self-propelled combine with hydraulic speed control, single-lever concave setting with clearance indicator, plus power steering, and a host of conveniences that make it the handiest, most comfortable combine ever built. For Case dealers in hillside country, there's the new 301 self-propelled side hill combine that's made to order for cutting along the contour on steep side slopes. Here's something you'd hardly believe. A pull-type combine that even goes beyond the famous Case A combine, long the favorite wherever grains grow tough or seed growing is serious business. The new 75 Case combine cuts a 7-foot swath, ideal for soybeans and sorghum. Its new cutter bar has strong, slender steel guards that slip through rank, tangled growth that would clog an old-fashioned sickle. Its variable speed fan makes Case airlift cleaning better than ever in every crop, from the biggest beans to the finest, fluffiest seeds. And then there is the revolutionary new corn harvester that picks the ears, saves the shelled kernels, and chops the stalks, leaves, and husks. First and only machine of its kind, it puts Case dealers out in front for the new miracle of low-cost cattle feeding, corn stalk silage. Hay and grain, corn and cotton. Yes, the Case cotton stripper brings new efficiency to this method of harvesting cotton, new advantage to Case dealers. We can't mention all the new and improved implements, but we will show 3 more. This one-way disc of the WS series is big enough to use the mighty power of the Case diesel tractor, yet it narrows down to trail in its own lane on the highway. And this is the band-seeding deep furrow drill that gives each 6-inch strip of grain, grass, or alfalfa its own little valley, sheltered between ridges to resist the wind and retain the rain. Finally, for feeding the hungry crops of today and building the richer soils of tomorrow, let's not overlook the new Case Fertilizer Spreader. Its spring finger brushes keep feed openings clear, even with materials that draw dampness. And its range of adjustment takes care of everything from concentrated chemicals applied by the pound to lime and rock phosphate put on by the ton. Yes, farming is bound to go forward. It cannot turn back. Nobody believes that good farm help can ever again be hired for low wages. Nobody can be sure when, if ever, farm prices will again be consistently high, nor does anybody dare depend forever on the propping up of prices. The only sure profit, and always the greatest profit, comes from plenty of production at low cost. Farming will go forward as farmers keep on changing to better varieties, better crop culture, better livestock practices, and above all, better machinery. Dealers will go forward with farming if they lead the way. Their challenge is to prove that new machines will produce more per acre and more per man. With the machines we have just seen and other advanced Case equipment, Case dealers can go out and show, as indeed they must, that now, as in years past, it costs less to farm with Case. As you serve by creative selling, so will these changing, challenging times open new ways for you and your customers to prosper.